Amazon's first quarter earnings made one thing abundantly clear. Coronavirus has sent sales soaring as people shop from the safety of their homes. But keeping up with the huge surge in demand while trying to keep workers safe has also sent Amazon's costs through the roof.
Here's a quote from Jeff Bezos. If you're a shareholder in Amazon, you may want to take a seat because we're not thinking small.
We've invested more than $600 million in COVID-related costs in Q1 and expect these costs could grow to $4 billion or more in Q2.
With first quarter profits down 29% and its stock sliding well below last month's all-time highs, Amazon is now playing a game of catch-up. In the face of too much business, it did the opposite of what's made it the world's most popular e-commerce site. Try to get shoppers to buy less.
It's hard to believe that Amazon would be in this situation. But then again, I don't think any of us expected that we would be in the situation we're in right now.
I think that they didn't have a choice but to slow down traffic, to turn off a lot of the features that were driving additional revenue and sales so that they could do their best to supply families in need right now.
CNBC explores how Amazon tweaked its online shopping experience to slow down site traffic and land fewer items in your cart so it can get back to what customers have come to expect from the Everything Store: delivery of almost anything in 1 to 2 days. At the same time that e-commerce sales are surging more than 70% above last year's numbers, Amazon faces unprecedented supply chain and delivery slowdowns. In addition, some Amazon workers stayed home, taking advantage of special leave policies to deal with illness or minimize exposure. The result is a bottleneck that may only be solved by reducing that huge surge in sales.
Amazon doesn't need to be finding ways to get people to buy more product. Instead, Amazon needs to look for ways that they can manage this rampant increase in demand that they've recently gotten.
Its homepage is one of the first indications that Amazon is finding ways to cut down on demand.
They are featuring digital products, Kindle books, Amazon Music, Amazon Prime videos. There's far fewer products being shown and listed on the homepage than I've ever seen, period.
For weeks, Amazon stopped allowing sellers to offer coupons and other deals on items, which normally drive up sales. Amazon also drove fewer products to shoppers' carts by no longer displaying the frequently bought together and other product suggestions, although those features are now back.
Their upsell features, they drive a lot of revenue, they drive a lot of orders, and they're just slowing it down. They cannot handle it.
And then there's Amazon's quiet cancellation of normally huge sales events. Mother's Day promotions weren't displayed prominently on the homepage. Prime Day, which accounts for record-breaking sales every year in July, has been postponed until at least August, according to Reuters, although Amazon has not yet made an official announcement about it.
I don't think it's going to hurt Amazon to not have a Prime Day when essentially they're having a Prime Day of sales volume every single day right now on essential goods.
Another way to cut back on sales is to cut back on overall site traffic. According to data analytics firm SEMrush, Amazon.com saw more than 4 billion visitors in March, more than the total visitors to Apple, eBay, Walmart, Rakuten, and Samsung combined.
I've never seen anything like this in my nearly 20 years of selling on Amazon, where it's clear and obvious that Amazon is cutting off traffic to their website.
One big way Amazon normally brings outside shoppers to its site is it buys a huge amount of advertising on Google's search engine. It stopped much of that spending in March.
In the past, pre-COVID, you would see potentially Amazon product listing ads, you would see Google AdWords ads, all driving traffic to Amazon. Amazon is actually Google's largest client, and all of those ads appear to have been turned off.
Another way Amazon brings in outside sales is through its affiliate marketing program, where outside sites and reviewers partner with Amazon in exchange for a commission for each sale they generate. Those commissions were slashed recently, giving less incentive for affiliates to drive shoppers to Amazon.
In some cases, their commissions have been cut by Amazon by 80%.
This is a time when people can at least afford it. With the pandemic that is happening, affecting so many businesses, so many creators, it's kind of crazy that they're doing this.
Amazon was deriving a lot of sales and a lot of traffic from affiliates. I have a feeling this is all connected to their goal to slow down the amount of traffic going to their website so they can catch their breath.
Amazon also stopped allowing new products into its Vine review program, where sellers usually sign up to send out a handful of products for free to verified reviewers, generating early reviews and, in response, early sales.
And they were getting a lot of great reviews, and it was helping their ranking algorithm. We can't do Vine anymore.
To cut back on the burden on its fulfillment centers, Amazon stopped allowing sellers to send non-essential items into its warehouses altogether in March.
We took steps to dampen demand for non-essential products, including reducing our marketing spend. Our network pivoted to shipping priority products within 1 to 4 days and extending promises on non-priority items.
While limiting inventory isn't unprecedented for Amazon, the handful of times it's happened in the past are because warehouses filled up during predictably heavy holiday shopping spikes.
Back in 2010, 11, 12, there were a few different situations where Amazon had to either put a constraint on what types of products sellers were sending into the warehouse or put a constraint on all products that were being sent into the warehouse. Granted, that was back in the Q4 period of a time where Amazon had far fewer warehouses than they have today. Today, Amazon has over 500 warehouses in the US.
While we generally have experience in getting ready for spikes in demand for known events, like the holiday season and Prime Day, we also generally spend months ramping up for these periods. The COVID crisis allowed for no such preparation.
The ban on incoming inventory has largely been lifted, although for weeks, Amazon set strict limits on how many non-essential items it allowed sellers to ship to its warehouses.
The pandemic has changed the whole game. While sales and demand are up, we're having a hard time getting inventory into FBA to satisfy that demand.
At the same time, Amazon has allowed all of its own electronics equipment to continue to be viewed as essential. So if you need a Kindle, you can get it right away.
Amazon largely uses algorithms to determine what is essential and how many non-essentials sellers can ship into its warehouses. Clausen, who's been selling on Amazon for 12 years, had trouble keeping hair ties in stock when people started ordering them to make masks because Amazon limited how many he could send in.
In contrast, we have this 3-pack sandwich container box that you would use to pack a lunch with. They'll let us send in over 550 of those right now. We sold 31 last week. So many people are stuck at home. They're not packing lunches. They're eating in. And the hair ties are selling like crazy right now because people are using them to make homemade masks.
When brands sell out of stock, it's not good for anyone. It's not good for the customer, first and foremost. It's not good for Amazon because they're not, making any money on that sale, and it's terrible for the brand because you're sitting there with product sitting somewhere on a pallet.
Sales of Randy Hetrick's TRX fitness straps to individuals have more than doubled since the pandemic began.
In our view, we were essential because, number one, the volumes had skyrocketed, which told us that a lot of people were wanting to stay in shape at home during this thing. And number two, it's really a mental health product as much as it is anything else.
Right now, Hetrick says Amazon makes up about 40% of his sales.
We're such a high volume product on Amazon, so we've been given kind of fast lane treatment.
But when smaller sellers asked Amazon to lift limits on important items, like those hair ties being used to make masks, some say Amazon's seller support system has not been helpful.
They basically have these canned responses almost that are like, well, that's what the limit is, and that's what, nothing we can do about it.
I don't know if it's purposeful, where they said, let's not get back in 24 hours or 12 hours, let's get back in 72 hours to slow some of these sales down, but it sure feels that way.
To help catch up, Amazon not only limited incoming inventory, it's also slowed down the speed of products headed out. For Prime customers, the default one-day shipping is highly delayed in many regions, as warehouses around the country face backlogs amid supply chain challenges. Some have had to be temporarily shut down for cleaning and had workers walk out in protest following reports of hundreds of infections and a handful of worker deaths.
This is the fourth known case of an Amazon worker that has died of the virus. Amazon has declined to provide total nationwide numbers, but as you said, this adds to mounting pressure.
If you're not a Prime customer, you're not getting your shipment for a month. Their warehouses are a war zone right now. They're trying to keep up with volume. They're trying to keep their workers safe, and it's harder every day.
In response, Amazon hired 100,000 more workers in March and another 75,000 in April.
They have made a promise to these shoppers, and they are charging them dearly for it with an annual fee, and they're not living up to that.
One way Amazon is trying to improve shipping times is by putting a halt to shipping any non-Amazon packages in the U.S. It had been ramping up the shipping service to compete with UPS and FedEx.
There are too many things that Amazon itself can't even control. They can't get unlimited supply of products that have spiked 500-fold. They can't get unlimited number of trucks and last mile delivery in place. And so there are going to be delays, and hence there are going to be choices, which means some people are going to be upset. But I would hope that most of those upset people realize that These are more nuisances than, oh my gosh, the world is falling and I can't get my designer jeans delivered to my house tomorrow.
In some parts of the world, Amazon is being ordered to slow down business. The government in India has prohibited Amazon from delivering non-essential items altogether. And in France, a court ruling shut down all Amazon warehouses for weeks, only allowing them to reopen for shipments of a specific list of goods. One way Amazon is trying to free up this shipping bottleneck is by encouraging some sellers to ship items themselves.
Toilet paper is more of a necessity, right? So we wanted to support the needs in general of the marketplace. And so when Amazon stocks out, while we're trying to get our product back in stock, we can fulfill from our warehouse direct. And so that's been a big win, and they were instrumental in helping us set that up with my team.
For years, Amazon has pushed the growth of Fulfilled by Amazon, a program where sellers pay a fee for Amazon to prepare and ship their products with the Prime badge. But the system is less speedy now.
Some days a product will list as a 30-day shipping time with FBA, and other days it'll list as, you'll get it in 5 days. Whenever we see that the shipping time is listed as over 30 days, we fulfill it ourselves rather than FBA.
Lena Calabria's company Bellroy has been selling wallets and bags on Amazon for 7 years. Although sales of some of Bellroy's 500 plus products are down as much as 30%, sales on Bellroy.com are down the least.
When you've got multiple geographies and multiple categories and, multiple sales channels, there's a real opportunity for us to pivot to the things that are working and redirect our efforts to be relevant in this climate.
But many smaller sellers simply aren't able to fill orders without Amazon's help.
FBA is our lifeblood. We're not set up to fulfill to the customers. We're a warehouse that one location, we can't get it to the West Coast in 2 days or next day like they do. We're in central Pennsylvania.
And if products run out of stock, customers will often turn to the competition.
There will likely be some customers that go back to Amazon and say, I want a refund on my Prime membership. But in the end, Amazon looks at this and says, long term, what is the best that they can do to serve Prime customers and be able to keep at least partially every Prime customer happy with at least some of the products they need. The risk that Amazon creates for itself is that those customers will start shopping somewhere other than Amazon.
Walmart is one competitor that's also had a surge in demand. It's seen a record number of downloads for its grocery app and hired more than 150,000 workers weeks ahead of schedule. And at the end of April, Walmart launched Express Delivery, where shoppers pay an additional $10 surcharge for guaranteed 2-hour delivery on some 160,000 items.
My wife, who swore that she would never buy from Walmart.com, has been buying some things from Walmart.com, and it's fine. They delivered on time.
The question is, does Amazon even mind losing customers to competitors right now?
I don't think that they like that other folks are filling in the space, but I don't think they can breathe enough to even think about it. I think they're so overwhelmed.
According to the Wall Street Journal, Amazon has set up a speed team of senior executives to work on getting back to pre-pandemic selection and delivery speeds, although that could take months.
It's taking longer to get things into our warehouse and out of our warehouse. So that's really the challenge right now, is to speed that up. And when we do that, we'll see a resumption of more one-day service. But right now, things are still so up in the air that I can't really project when that day will be, or what point in Q2 or Q3 or beyond.
I really do hope that they're able to ramp up capacity so they can continue to send and receive more goods and ship more goods to families in need who aren't able to go to stores and likely aren't going to be going back to stores like they did before, maybe ever.
Amazon is taking clear steps to add capacity. It's announced new fulfillment centers in Georgia, California, and Maryland, and it's opening one in North Carolina months ahead of schedule. Construction on Amazon's second headquarters in Virginia has continued through the pandemic. And it just unveiled a new Amazon Air regional hub in Southern California. And a deal with Sun Country has been launched months early. The airline is starting to fly packages for Amazon on 10 of its 737s. Amazon also ended a policy it set in place in March that allowed warehouse workers to stay home without pay and not face penalties for being absent.
Amazon will likely be able to continue to scale up its warehouses and scale up its last mile delivery. At some point, when we do start to re-engage, Amazon will probably have too much excess capacity and will have to scale back on some of that capacity they've built.
But for now, Amazon is going full throttle to catch up so it can once again operate like every other business and get you to shop more instead of less.
Once we get out of this crisis, Amazon will be in a position to bring these customers back
the pie post-COVID is going to be so much bigger for e-commerce that I don't think Amazon's too concerned about it at this early stage. They've done what they've had to do. It will end at some point. I don't know when, but when it does, they're going to be 10 times stronger than they were when they started. I have no doubt.